And we're live. Hi, everybody. Welcome to this week's LinkedIn Live, hosted by Growth Advisors International Network. We're a global advisory firm for the travel, hospitality, and MICE industry. I'm Zoe. I'm a lead advisor. And this week, I'm joined by Lise Perigo, Sales Director from Mews. Super happy to have you here and continue our chat.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. I've never done a LinkedIn Live before, so new experience for me.
That's great. Well, I'm honored that the first one is with me. That's fantastic. How are things your end today, Lise?
Things are good. Obviously very busy here for Mews, but in the US, I'm super excited for March Madness this week. So I feel like I'm partially thinking about work and then March Madness. I love college basketball.
What's March Madness? Okay, this is a
gosh.
lesson here. I don't know what that is.
March Madness is when 68 teams, college teams, they play each other in a bracket, and then the last one standing wins. It's so much fun. There's so many upsets. It could go either way. And I'm based in Nashville, so there's a lot of Tennessee teams in it this year. It's really
okay. Love that. I'll look forward to seeing that on your LinkedIn. I'm sure there's a post on there. Okay, great. So I know one thing about you, which is you're very passionate about data and the role that it plays in technology. I know we've mentioned this loads of times. So what excites you about working with Mews, Lise?
Oh my gosh, it's my favorite question. I really think it's about the way our founder and our CEO approach and think about the industry in general. Prior to joining Mews, I was with STR, which is the gold standard for data analytics in the hospitality industry. I was with them for 7 years. And Mews reminds me of how Randy Smith, he was the one that started STR, the Star Report back in the 80s. He transformed the industry with a simple yet groundbreaking idea. And Mews is doing something similar, just thinking holistically about how to make things easier for both hoteliers, but also travelers too. The vision isn't just about improving a PMS. It is about reimagining how technology can remove friction, better guest experiences, better staff experiences, and ultimately pushing the industry forward. That kind of big picture thinking is what makes working with Mews for Mews so exciting. And then outside of the product in general, and outside the product, the vision itself, it's just our customer-centric approach, which you and I have talked about several times. Being remote first gives us the flexibility to be in market, meeting hoteliers where they are, like not just to talk about technology, but to truly understand their challenges, their aspirations. What I love is just the human side of hospitality and get to hear incredible stories about how someone got started in the industry, the family history of a hotel, and what keeps them passionate about what they do. Those conversations go beyond business. It's about relationships, about history, about the love of hospitality. And that in general is just what makes the industry so great to me.
Yeah, so true. It's all about the people at the end of the day, isn't it? Whether, whatever your industry, whoever your clients are, you've got to be people centric. And I think that's the long game, right? And it's so nice to always hear about that from Mews, especially. Yeah.
Yeah. And from your end, either what excites you about the industry or Mews in general?
So Mews, I have to say, the thing that has most excited me about working with Mews is one of those companies that you see from the outside and it looks very cool, very forward thinking, very innovative, very great. There's a very good branding. And then when you meet the people, you're like, oh, that's actually true. And I like that. I like the integrity of the company. That's that if I had to sum it up. So that's what I like, apart from the great product. But yeah, I'm a people person.
Yeah.
And
I think all in the industry are like, we're just humans, people.
So true. And I think that's what I like about our industry. So even though I'm a bit different to you in that my end client is the vendor rather than the hotelier, right? Vendors in our industry are often coming from hospitality, and the whole industry is just infused with this hospitable, friendly vibe, I think, unlike other tech industries. So as a marketer in tech, I think there's no better industry than hospitality. Come to hospitality. We need more marketers specialized in this industry. So yeah, I like it a lot. Okay, so today's title is the PMS is a growth engine. Bit of a big statement there, but I think, often hoteliers are using the PMS almost just as a booking tool and maybe a little bit more. So how can we get them to see that, it's much more than that?
Yeah, I don't know if you saw last week, but Richard was actually interviewed and kind of talking about this general idea about shifting from room-centric operations to truly guest-centric experiences. Like, it's such a simple idea, but guests are more than room numbers. Like, they are individuals with preferences, with needs. A PMS should be able to make all of that a reality, either by leveraging AI or automation to create seamless, personalized experiences that were once only possible with like luxury hotels. But this could happen with anybody. Like, imagine checking into a hotel where they already know your favorite room, your go-to breakfast, and anticipate your needs before you even say anything. Like, that's the kind of innovation that we're bringing to the industry. One of the ways is through our smart tip, which is one of my favorite things. Like, it's not just a static little thing on the guest profile. It's a piece of intelligence that sits everywhere within the system. So helping staff understand what a guest likes, how to personalize that experience. Imagine if you arrive at a hotel, but your room isn't ready. So instead of that awkward what now moment with the front desk, they already know you like Busch Light. I feel like I have to say Busch Light because I'm from Iowa, but let's say you like Busch Light and there's one waiting for you at the bar. So suddenly it's not this inconvenience. It's a seamless, thoughtful experience that turns potential frustration into a moment of delight. Like, that's the kind of hospitality Mews helps create.
Yeah. So just for people that didn't quite catch that, can you tell us what the smart tip is?
Oh, yeah.
But not everybody has.
Our smart tip. So we have guest profiles in our system and that you can track, classify, make different notes that say they like this, they want feathered pillows. It pulls that information from the guest profile and puts it in different places in this basically tweet size snippet. So as soon as that person comes to check in, the staff knows the caliber of the guest and can have all of those things available to them without that awkward interaction of what do you like? Like, it's just so different. Technology should enhance rather than replace the human touch. And that's what our smart tip does.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like that little heads up. I love that. I'd be blown away if that happens. I hope that happens to me one day. I'll go to Mews.
Stay at a Mews hotel.
Yeah. I'll be looking for them. That would be great, wouldn't it? If guests were actively like, I'll only stay in a Mews hotel. That would be social proof. Next level. So of course, Lise, I snooped your LinkedIn profile before we talked, obviously. And I saw something that I really absolutely love, going back to our first point about people-centric and what you do at Mews. But I noticed that you actually kind of go into the wild and meet with all sorts of hoteliers, not just like your big brands, let's wow them, but like the little mom and pops. And you actually went to Tennessee. So tell me what you did and what you found out.
Well, so I'm based here in Tennessee, but we have a lot of clients here in Tennessee and then North Carolina. So I basically took a road trip through these different areas to meet with hoteliers not using Mews, but hoteliers also using Mews. We're not just a tech company selling software. Like, we really want to ingrain ourselves into the hospitality community, truly understand what challenges hoteliers are having and have real conversations with them. Because at the end of the day, it's about bringing hospitality back to the basics. A lot of the challenges that they have, well, I guess going back to what I did. So I literally drove through just bringing them something from a local bakery. Like, it's really important to show that community aspect, in my opinion. So it was just to like deliver something to their staff, have a conversation. And if you think about the industry today, like, things haven't changed much in the last couple decades. Like, guests still walk up to a front desk, hand over their card, sign a registration card, get a key. And hotels call this a guest experience, but there's a challenge with this. Like, staffing shortages are making it harder than ever to hire and retain people. In some markets, we're even seeing picketing over labor conditions. And on top of that, Tennessee and a lot of other areas are still recovering from natural disasters. If you think of the hurricane or the fires, and hoteliers want to know, like, how do we bounce back? Like, how do we attract tourism when the market feels so unpredictable? And this is the time that they need it the most. So this is where technology, specifically a PMS, can be a game changer. I think there's generally a misconception that automation replaces jobs, but in reality, it just eliminates automative tasks or administrative tasks, freeing up staff to actually connect with guests. So instead of printing a registration card and asking for an ID, the front desk can say, hey, what brings you into town? And then while seamlessly checking to see if their room is clean, it's about shifting from transactional interactions to meaningful hospitality moments. So by streamlining all of this, hotels can do more with less and focus on the guest experience where it really matters and then navigate those challenges. That's what we're driving at Mews.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. And, head over to Lisa's profile to see some actual picture of some hoteliers, because it's heartwarming. And again, it just really brings back the human element and the joy of serving people, which is our industry, right? So yeah. That's great. So at the start, we also mentioned data, because I know you're a bit of a data nerd, as you should be, working in tech, as we all should be. So what are some of the ways that hotels can use data as the gas for the PMS machine and really help them to grow?
Yeah. Can I just say, I love this is my first LinkedIn Live and you already called me a nerd, but I think when we think about data, we think about it like as this big complicated thing, but it's really just knowing your guests and your business better. And that's where a great PMS can make all the difference, because it's not just a place to process bookings. It's also a tool that makes hotels make smarter and more strategic decisions every day. Like a PMS can show you who's booking, where they're coming from, what's driving your revenue. Like I mentioned, I live in Nashville and I'm originally from Iowa. And so when I go downtown in Nashville, I can't tell you the amount of Iowa people that I run into or I meet. Like, imagine for hotels here, wouldn't it make sense to shift more marketing dollars to target them directly instead of just guessing? You're making decisions based on actual guest behavior and revenue management in general. When you think about STR and data like that, it's not just for big brands anymore. Like a PMS with strong analytics to track booking trends, competitor pricing, and demand shifts, there's no more leaving money on the table by pricing too low or losing bookings by pricing too high. And everything, again, ties back to kind of that automation, and then personalization is just everything. So if your PMS is connected to a CRM, it's not just storing reservations again, it's learning guest preferences. Imagine a returning guest walks in and instead of asking for their ID, you can greet them and say, hey, welcome back. We got your favorite room ready for you. Like, that's the kind of hospitality that loyalty can build. And again, a PMS isn't just operations. It's not just data. It's all of that can empower a property. Like the right system helps hotels focus less on paperwork and more on what really matters, which, like you and I have talked, it's just being a human, getting to know people, treating people like people. And that's what's so exciting. Like hotels don't have to hope they're making the right decisions. With the right PMS, they know they're making the right decisions.
Yeah, it's interesting the way technology has gone. I guess the first wave of tech has kind of taken hoteliers away from the guest onto screens, like we're all on screens all the time. And now we're kind of looking for experiences and technology that help us to get away from that. So hoteliers getting away from those screens because it's automated and it's being taken care of. And, I've even heard like in real life of people going to Wi-Fi free cafes and things like that. So it seems like we're all deciding that we're really happy with technology, but we want it to be doing the things we don't want to do and have breaks from it and have person-to-person interactions more than ever. So I love that trend within technology, that it's bringing hospitality back. Let's have it. I've heard a phrase that you Muses use, which is revenue per available guest. Can you break that down for me, please?
Yeah. Well, I think especially like my background coming from STR, I think traditionally RevPAR, revenue per available room, is like the standard in the industry, but we want to think about some different KPIs. And we do talk about revenue per available guest because we believe looking at the broader picture, which includes the guest experience to driving growth. So with revenue per available guest, we're looking at opportunities to upsell smarter, like offering suite upgrades or encouraging repeat bookings and promoting extended stays. It's about understanding the guest profile, whether that's their total lifetime value, their past stay history, or spending habits, and using that data to create those personalized experiences. I think that approach helps hotels identify other potential revenue streams. Like, for example, if a property is consistently at capacity, it might be a good time to explore additional offerings. Like, could you offer parking? Could you adjust your rates? Could you offer bike rentals? Like, the goal is to think beyond just rooms and use your PMS to tap into new sources of revenue while enhancing the guest experience still.
Right. Yeah. There are so many different types of revenue, aren't there, that a hotel can really get deep into. And I think that's interesting to hear. Yeah. If a hotel's fully booked, fantastic. Great. Well, you can only put rates up so far, right? What can you provide that's an extra and that can actually keep our guests engaged with our hotel environment as well? So they're not going down the street to hire those bicycles. They're hiring it right here from us, or, so yeah. I love that. So revenue per available guest. That's brilliant. So if there's one thing or a couple, it can be a couple of things that hoteliers really should take away from this conversation, what do you think it should be?
I think it's, again, that a PMS should be viewed more than just a booking system. I think the real power comes from using data effectively, whether that's driving revenue, improving efficiency, or enhancing guest satisfaction. Automation doesn't take away from the heart of hospitality. I think that's such an important thing to know. Instead, it should empower your teams to focus on what truly matters, and that's delivering exceptional, personalized guest experiences. Like, when rate management and availability adjustments are automated, the front desk staff can spend more time ensuring there is a good check-in process or local recommendations for your community, so people feel like they're a part of the community when they're traveling. When that operational side is automated, staff can dedicate more time to personalizing those interactions, creating memorable stays, which should ultimately drive guest satisfaction and then loyalty, and hopefully repeat bookings.
That's the aim, repeat bookings and loyalty. Yeah, and they come from great guest experiences. Brilliant. This was such a good conversation, Lisa. I love it.
How went by so fast?
It went by so, they do just go, they're just 20 minutes. They go by really quick. So everybody, if you want to learn more about Mews, obviously you can go to the website. You can contact Lise. You can contact me. We'll all be happy to talk to you about anything at all.
We can talk about March Madness, Bush Lights, or Mews. That's fine too.
Including March Madness. Now we have that cleared up for you. I'm not going to make that mistake again. Before we go, Lise, tell us one thing that we don't know about you.
I just hope this doesn't lead to people Googling me, but when I was 17, I was on the cover of the Wall Street Journal. It was such a privilege living and growing up in Iowa with the focus of the first caucus in the nation and the political emphasis that they put on the state in general. So kind of a cool thing. I was on the cover of the Wall Street Journal. But how about you, Zoe?
That sounds really exciting. I'll tell you what, I hope you've got that. Have you got that cut out and framed in your house? Does your mum have that?
My mom has it, yeah.
Of course. I would if that was my kid, for sure. One thing nobody knows about me, that's hard because I'm quite transparent on this platform. But so one thing I did when I was 19. So when I was 19, that was a university. There was a charity called Link Africa. And the charity was to raise money to build schools in Africa. And the challenge was, ready for it, this is a bit crazy. The challenge was to hitchhike from the UK to the nearest part of Africa, which is Morocco for us.
Oh my God.
So effectively, I literally hitchhiked from Sussex University to Morocco with no mobile phone. This was 1999.
Did you do it with a group of people? I have so many questions. How far did you go?
I had so I had a female friend. We did it together, but we weren't allowed to go as two female travelers. So we had a guy come with us. He was called Wolfgang. He was German, and he was put with us. So it was the three of us, and we had an incredible time. The whole thing was amazing, and the trip in Morocco was unforgettable. So I definitely would not want my kids to do that, and I would prohibit it. But,
it was a different time.
It was a different time. That's my crazy story. Oh dear.
I love that.
So Lise, fantastic to get to know you. Fantastic to get to know about Mews. Love it. Have a great rest of your day.
Thank you so much for having me. I love this.
Thank you so much for being on. It was great.
Thank you.
Cheers.
Bye.